Well, good morning, sun worshipers. This is George McClellan coming to you from FetchYourNews.com, North Georgia's only live internet talk show. This is George's Hour. I am George McClellan. And to comment or join the discussion, you can call us at 706-889-5825. I'm sorry, 9700. Or you can email me at the show at george@FetchYourNews.com. Well, there's so much news over there that I would like to talk about, but I'll tell you what, let's just start with we'll start at the beginning. The old video tapes of Trump's locker talk from 30 years ago have just about, in my opinion, exceeded their shelf life. The several bimbos the Clinton campaign has dug up to further accuse Trump of groping them several years ago on airplanes and other places already fallen apart. Why? Because already some of the girls, the mother, one of the women said, well, she owns a restaurant. She was angry at Trump because he didn't visit her restaurant in California. So that is all coming apart. It was inartfully done. The accusations were loosely cobbled together in a hurry by the Clinton campaign, by the Clinton anti-destruct campaign, without substantiation, and designed solely to take our minds off the WikiLeaks revelation of Hillary's treasonous and felonious criminal acts against the United States of America. It defies my logic, but not my understanding. I understand why our American school system was taken over by the progressives years ago, and now we have a vast pool of people out here who do not understand history, do not know what communism is, what democracy is. They know none of these things. They are all primed to be George Orwell's citizens in 1984. It's disgusting. The thing of it is, Donald Trump poses a potent threat to the Washington establishment. The establishment. That's why you see GOP Republicans running away from Donald Trump at any excuse they can, the videotape being one of them, to claim that he's unfit for the presidency because they all know that he is such a successful businessman that they will do just about anything they can to keep him from gaining power. Nationally and globally, they will be attacking Donald Trump. Can the establishment keep Trump out of the White House? Possibly, and they're certainly trying. But Trump is not going to make it easy for them. This weekend, he took to Twitter, as he does every night, to tell his followers about the deceptions that the Hillary campaign are creating on the one world government, for the one world government and his globalist cabal, as it is. They're going to attack Trump from many directions. The bimbos thing is disappearing. To his favor, he put his wife out there, or she went on and was interviewed, but that wasn't good. She being a Slovakian or from that part of the country, beautiful woman, gracious, make a wonderful first lady, but she's not a politician. And I think she's very, very smart. But when you're dealing with the American press, they made her sound like a bimbo, and that's not good. Trump said that the allegations made against him were 100% fabricated, and that's starting to prove true, and they were made up. And they were pushed by the Clinton campaign and the media. And the media, I wanted you to understand that the media is not our friend, except FetchYourNews.com. The media is not your friend. And they will poison the minds. And they try to poison the minds every night on television. The CNN reporter that says, you cannot read the disclosed WikiLeaks because it's a crime. Where in the world did he get that? If it's in the public domain, it's in the public domain, and it is not illegal for you to have it if you download it from the internet. These people actually believe us. We're beyond being conned. The ones of us who know what we're talking about and stay attuned. These new people out here, they can be conned, so we'll see where that goes. Trump said that the women who have accused him of sexual misconduct and assault, that's the word they use, assault, it's lies, and I'm going to go with Trump on that one. Trump warned voters that our very democracy was hanging by a thread, and he's absolutely correct on that point. This election, I'm quoting, is being rigged by the media, pushing false and unsubstantiated charges and outright lies in order to elect crooked Hillary. He can't use the word crooked enough. Did you know? Do you remember when Hillary and Bill Clinton left the White House at the termination of their 8 years destruction of America, that they stole $250,000 worth of U.S. government, that's your property and my property, to take with them? And she tells us, she told us in an interview that when they got out of the White House, they were all but broke, practically broke. Yet they stole $250,000 worth of furniture. They had to return that furniture, and paid a big amount of money, $250,000. I think they paid that. That had to have galled the hell out of them for them to do that. Hillary should have been prosecuted and should be in jail. Well, we know that story. Instead, she is running for president in what looks like a rigged election. And I'm getting somebody talking on the phone. Huh? Is it off? Okay. Okay. So we're going to move to that. She should be in jail, and that will be an article on the FBI. I think is very, very important. It's easy for us to say, quote, the FBI is corrupted. No. Jim Comey, the director of the FBI, is corrupted. And the agents out there are ready to revolt. That agency is liable to come down. And I might add, career attorneys in the Department of Justice, they are also ready to revolt over the criminals who run the Department of Justice. And that's Loretta Lynch and the 3 or 4 women she hired. They're all socialist progressives, and they're entire the hard left-wing progressives. That's what they are, the hard left wing. And veteran FBI agents have said that FBI Director Comey has permanently damaged the Bureau's reputation for uncompromising investigations with his, quote, cowardly whitewash of former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and her mishandling of classified information using her unauthorized private email server. So there we are. That's the opening shot, and I'll tell you, I do not think Comey will survive. He will be thrown under the bus if he's not assassinated, because that's what the Clintons do. Feeling the heat from congressional critics, Comey last week argued that the case was investigated by career FBI agents. Yes, it was. So he said, if they blew it, I blew it, too. But the agents say Comey had tied the hands of investigators by agreeing to unheard of ground rules and other demands by the lawyers for Clinton and her aides that limited their investigation. If your supervisor tells you don't follow this path or don't ask these questions, well, you're not going to do it, or you get fired or sent off to Podunk somewhere in some rural county where it snows a lot. No, you want to stay. So you do it. One agent said, in my 25 years with the Bureau, I'd never had any ground rules in my interviews. And I have to say that as well when I worked for the federal government or for the U.S. Navy as an investigator. No ground rules. Here. Just don't violate the law. Give them the Miranda rights when it's required. Collect the information that you got. Advise them. Arrest them if you need to. No ground rules. And I tell you, I've had at least one flag officer interrogated and had to resign or retire from the Navy as a result of my investigation. So it's nothing. We now have a Marine Corps general, retired, who just pled guilty to releasing or for lying to the FBI. He did it to protect his government, his branch of service, and the United States of America. That's still, he was guilty of an offense. And that's good for 5 years in prison, like Scooter Libby got. So whether he gets 5 years in prison or not, he is retired. He will probably serve 6 months or some time, but Hillary Clinton, as Trump says, is still running for president, and she should be in jail. And my word to the GOP is, if you retain the Senate and you retain the House, immediately she is sworn in as president of the United States, you have to start your investigations and make her so busy defending herself, and then within 6 months of her inauguration, impeach her. Get her the hell out of the government and send her to prison. This woman needs to go to prison. And so does that idiot that she thinks she's going to replace. They don't like each other anyway, but that's beside the point. In my 25 years in the Bureau, I've never had any ground rules in my interviews. And this is Dennis V. Hughes, the first chief of the FBI's Computer Investigations Unit, and that's when the fraud unit started realizing that computers was the new tool. Yeah, we had it in the Navy as well. Instead of going to prosecutors and insisting on using grand jury leverage to compel testimony and seize evidence, Comey allowed immunity for several key witnesses, including potential targets. The immunity agreements came with outrageous side deals. Now, those are words FBI agents don't use about their leaders. Nobody uses words like this about the leadership of any organization. Outrageous side deals, including preventing agents from searching for any document on a Dell laptop owned by former Chief of Staff Cheryl Mills. Any document generated after January the 31st, 2015, when she communicated with the server administrator who destroyed subpoenaed emails. Now there's a fellow they can throw under the bus, but if they do and he talks, he can cause a lot of problems there too. If he talks publicly in a trial, it's not going to a trial. It's not going to a trial. We learned today as well, I'm going to make a diversion because it was brought up earlier, Julian Assange, who has released the WikiLeaks, someone has closed down his email account out of the Ecuadorian embassy in London. The word is now that Julian Assange will be arrested. Well, will he be arrested and sent to Sweden for his alleged sex crimes with a girl or a woman up there? Or will the United States snatch him, bring him back to the United States, put him in a prison where he will be murdered? Where he will be. He cannot be allowed to testify. And when they snatch him, they should have everything that he's got. However, it's too late. All of that material that Assange, the WikiLeaks founder, has collected, it's all in the cloud. It's on somebody else's computer right now and it's ready to go out. Shakespeare said it right. What tangled webs we weave when at first we practice to deceive. The immunity agreement, and that's between Comey, not the FBI, but between Director Comey in the name of the FBI, came with outrageous side deals. Comey agreed to have Mills' laptop destroyed after the restricted search, denying Congress the chance to look at it. So that Comey, made the FBI complicit, as accomplices in the destruction of evidence. Well, that's a criminal offense. That's a criminal offense. Comey's immunized witnesses, nonetheless, suffered chronic lapses in memory, made unsubstantiated claims of attorney-client privilege upon tougher questioning, and at least gave 2 demonstrably false statements, yet Comey indulged it all and flogged it off as no intent. Well, that's where cattle prods come in. That'll get people talking. Even the threat of one will get them talking. What's more, Comey cut a deal to give Clinton, quote, a voluntary witness interview on a major holiday, and even let her ex-chief of staff, Cheryl Mills, sit in on the interview as a lawyer, even though she too was a subject of investigation. And it's time now for a little word from our sponsors. I like the pizza ad. That guy in the hard suit, he's wonderful. We'll see you on the other side.
El Rey and Elegy.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated, and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine. El Rey and Elegy.
Pizza Hut makes great pizza, but they can't tell you what a gift it is. I can. They took a grilled cheese and combined it with stuffed crust pizza. To think, I almost wasn't here to try it.
How did you?
It's not important, Jan. What's important is that I watched the sunrise this morning. Then I got to stand in a room filled with this pizza. And later I'll stare at the ocean. Or maybe I'll learn Russian. Or listen to jazz. Or try my hand at needlework. Or open a door for a beautiful woman. Or read a human interest story or make dessert wine. Or ride a wild horse. Or experiment with watercolors. Eat every slice like it's your last. Especially you, Doug. Especially Doug, right? You care about Doug. The grilled cheese stuffed crust pizza. Proof that no one outpieces the Hut.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Well, welcome back to Georgia's Hour on FetcherNews.com television, North Georgia's only live online internet TV show. If you want to participate and don't let me do all the talking, you can call us at 706-889-9700, or you can email me your comments at george@FetcherNews.com. I'm talking about Comey, director of the FBI, and how he has completely single-handedly ruined the reputation of the organization, and that is FBI agent Michael Biasello, retired. You don't say things like that when you're still in the harness. And so this tawdry business goes on, and there's no way it can be recovered unless Director Comey should put a gun to his head and blow his brains out on television or resign, just get out of the way, disappear, and put somebody in there who's a real policeman, a real cop. And I have now come to realize, and I've said it before, Comey is not one of us. He is not an FBI agent. He was never an investigator. He's always been a lawyer for the DOJ or on some subcommittee of Congress. He worked with Hillary early on in her career, their careers, so he knows her well. I've explained that in the previous show. Each month for 27 years, this agent says, I received oral and computer admonishments concerning the proper protocol for handling top secret and other classified materials. So did I, as a special agent with the Naval Investigative Service. So we were so aware of this and the jeopardy, the potential jeopardy to our job and in the Navy if we mishandle classified information. It's simply, we just don't have that many things that happen like that. One agent here says his name is I.C. Smith. He knows a thing or two about Clinton corruption. After working at FBI headquarters, he said, as a section chief in the National Security Division, he retired as the special agent in charge of the Little Rock, Arkansas office. Ooh, how close can we get? Where he investigated top Clinton fundraisers for public corruption and even Chinese espionage. FBI agents upset with Comey's decision have every reason to feel that way, Smith said. Clearly, there was a different standard applied to Clinton. I have no doubt. Resourceful prosecutors and FBI agents could have come up with some changes that she would have been subject to prosecution. The 25-year veteran said what she did, Hillary, is absolutely abhorrent for anyone who has access to classified information. Now, it's been said that her security clearance should be denied and removed, and she should not have access to security information. Well, that's the same thing for same thing can be said for the President Obama. But he's President of the United States, and he automatically gets access to everything that's classified. And that's one of the problems we face. We cannot have that woman in there. It simply cannot have that woman in there. The director is giving the Bureau, the FBI, a bad rap with all the gaps in the investigation. One agent in the field office said, notice how he toned down these words, there is the perception that the FBI has been politicized and has let the country down. Comey has turned a once proud institution known for its independence into one that bows to election pressure, hands out political immunity to candidates, and effectively pardons their co-conspirators. He's turned the FBI into the Federal Bureau of Immunity and lost the trust and respect of not only his agents, but the country at large. He ought to step down. Well, he ought to be fired. I have a lot here on Cheryl Mills. Interestingly, I picked up a couple of blogs today that was quite interesting, and I would like to share them with you. There's so much news out here that it's just unbelievable. And that's for later. And I read that yesterday. Here we are. We're talking about Donald Trump. In light of these revelations, this fellow says Trump is for America, not the criminal elite. And the criminal elite, we call them oligarchs, Republicans, Democrats combined. They think that these are the people that need to control the government so they can control our lives. And they are changing our way of life. They're changing our Constitution so that this elite group has power and then can be associated with the one world government. This fellow said he has courage, honor, and intelligence. Talking about Donald Trump. They are all terrified of him because they know he will do what he says he will do. Hillary, you're going to jail. More to the point, they know he is for the American people. They can't have that because the gravy train of corruption will be derailed. Trump has pulled back the curtain, and they are trying to tell us that we are not seeing what we see. Oh, the Wizard of Oz metaphor is a wonderful one. It works so well here. We are going to reclaim our America. Trump has turned on all the lights. They are terrified. He is exactly who and what we need in a leader, and I kind of agree with that. And while he's got his weaknesses, they sure don't compare with Hillary Clinton's. Another blogger said, I know the word communist is kind of alarming, but that's what they are. The elites have changed our government from of the people, by the people, and for the people, to of the elites, by the elites, and for the control of the people. Now that the Republican elites do not have a horse in the race, and I mentioned yesterday this is a three-party race, the Republicans, the Democrats, and Donald Trump heading for the presidency. The elites have changed our government from the people, by the people, to by the elites for the control of the people. Now that the Republican elites do not have a horse in the race, it does not surprise me that the Republicans will support the Democrat elites. The elite Democrats can control Hillary. It seems the elite Republicans cannot control Trump. Good for Trump. So keep the elites in control. The elite Republicans now collude with the elite Democrats. That's what people are saying. People are actually thinking that. So, you know, it is a problem. It is a serious problem. All right. And here's another blogger too. Hillary Clinton stole State Department furniture to use in her Washington home. A former member of her security detail told the FBI. That would be a Secret Service agent. The accusation were part of 100 pages of FBI interview notes from its probe into Hillary Clinton's handling of classified material that were released this week under the Freedom of Information Act due to a lawsuit by the conservative watchdog group Judicial Watch. Go on their website. It's amazing what the revelations are that Judicial Watch has. Also, they need a little support, I think. Early in Clinton's tenure as Secretary of State, she and her staff were observed removing lamps and furniture from the State Department, which were transported to her residence in Washington, D.C. The FBI was told by an agent who was assigned to Clinton in 2009 at the start of her term, but was not on the detail when Clinton left in 2013. According to the FBI notes, the agent does not know whether these items were ever returned to the government. Now here's an important point I'll bring up. Another blogger noted this. Another BS article by a brain-dead moron brought to readers here by Chris Ruddy, a close Hillary, the corrupt supporter who Bill and Hillary already paid off with a favor for giving them $1 million donation. Chris Ruddy. Listen up, crash dummy intellects. No gift in any form of more than $25 in value, that's $25, not $25 million or $1,000, $25 in value, can be given to any public official. There is absolutely no confusion about that. Any gifting of more than $25 in value are to be refused or deemed to have been gifts to the United States of America. When the utterly corrupt Clintons stole the artwork off the walls of the White House, stole the White House silverware, and the White House china, they were stealing from the people of the United States. Now here comes the media's cover-up excuse. Quote, however, Pontifact points out that this was not so much because of any intent of improper behavior, but due largely to, and here's the clue words, whenever you hear these words, you know you're being lied to, confusing and unclear. Confusing and unclear regulations about the procedure for what gifts are those of the occupants of the White House and which are government property. If you are a government employee, and that includes the Secretary of State, that even includes the President of the United States. If you are a government employee and you are given a gift in official capacity, by a foreign government. How many times did Reagan and Bush's receive gifts from foreign governments officially on stage in front of millions of people watching on television? Those gifts, they can't keep those gifts. Those gifts go into our property of the people of the United States of America, and they will end up someday in the institution called the Smithsonian. They could end up in the library of whoever president got the gift, because a lot of them are not of great intrinsic value, but just lovely to look at. I'm waiting for the day when the king of Siam, and there will be a new king shortly, the old one died here recently, when the king of Siam presents the president of the United States with a white elephant. A white elephant's a wonderful gift because it cannot be refused, but it has to be fed. It eats a lot. And you have a responsibility, if you're a Thai, you have a responsibility to take care of that gift. And that's the way Thai kings kept their cousins and uncles and nephews from trying to assume control and take their crown. They give them this wonderful gift publicly, and so they were obligated to spend their fortune keeping that gift alive. Cheryl Mills, I can't get away from Cheryl Mills. If anyone would know Hillary's consigliere, and I like the fact that we use not only Wizard of Oz metaphors, but also Godfather metaphors, the consigliere. Her reputation for obstructing investigations, it should be FBI Director Comey. He complained about her lack of cooperation while probing Clinton scandals in the 1990s. Yet he agreed to give Mills immunity from prosecution in his probe of Hillary's illegal emails as Secretary of State. At the time, Mills was the chief of staff for Hillary Clinton. So somewhere between then and now, they did get Comey, and they've got something on him that's, unfathomable. It's out there on the record. It will come out one day. It will have to come out one day. As a Whitewater investigator, now for you not youngsters out there watching this, not acquainted with Whitewater, not talking about Watergate, Whitewater, that was where Hillary Clinton, as a lawyer in the Rose Law Firm in Arkansas, received this vast amount of money and property called Whitewater, and she was the lawyer handling that. It was a total fiasco designed to start Hillary and Bill Clinton on the road to financial security. It went awry. As a Whitewater investigator for the Senate in the 1990s, Comey sought information from Mills, but wouldn't you know, Mills claimed that some burglar stole her notes. My goodness, don't we hear that all the time? Comey concluded that Hillary Clinton ordered Mills to block investigators. The obstruction, the Senate committee found, included the destruction of documents and other highly improper materials, and they concluded it was all actually misconduct. All the papers of the Rose Law Firm, after this whole thing had died over, were suddenly found in a closet in the White House after Bill Clinton was president of the United States. And that was the end of the program. Oh, here they are. The maid must have put them away, stacked them in that closet. We couldn't find them. And now we found them. Problem over, long gone. That could rise up and haunt her too. 2 years later, Mills was in the middle of another Hillary scandal involving the then First Lady's integration of White House and Democratic National Committee computer databases. Whoa, that's like mixing bank money with your own private account. The House subpoenaed information from Mills, who not only withheld the documents, but a federal committee said lied under oath, prompting staff lawyers to send a criminal referral to the State Department, demanding prosecutors charge Mills with obstruction of justice and perjury. In 2000, the Commerce Department official testified Mills ordered her to withhold from investigators emails and other documents, exposing yet another criminal scandal involving Hillary Clinton, the selling of seats on foreign trade junkets for campaign cash. That was just the beginning, the low end of her criminality. And I'm getting signal here. It's time for us to hear a word from our sponsor. So we'll take a break, and I'll see you on the other side.
Pizza Hut makes the best pizza in the entire universe, but they won't tell you that. I've been marooned on this planet for a while now. You are an impressive race. Your children know excellent hiding places. Your oceans aren't filled with lava. And you figured out how to combine a grilled cheese sandwich with a Pizza Hut pizza. Surely interstellar travel will soon follow, and then I can finally get back home. Round. Round like home. The grilled cheese stuffed crust pizza, proof that no one out-pizzas the Hut.
I'm Sheriff Dane Kirby, and I'll stand up for you.
I'm Stacy Nicholson, Sheriff of Gilmer County, and I will stand up for you.
Stand up and speak out. No matter how rich, cool, talented you believe yourself to be, how you treat people ultimately tells all. I am Allison Sosby, District Attorney, and I'll stand up for you.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
The Chevy Model Year End Clearance event is on at Days Chevrolet in Jasper with savings up to 16% off MSRP. Our biggest discounts of the summer. Save over $4,100 off a new Chevy Malibu, just $19,500. Huge truck savings too, up to $8,600 off loaded Silverado Crew Cab LT. Now only $33,500. Don't miss the Model Year End Clearance event at Days Chevrolet in Jasper.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Well, welcome back, everybody. George McClellan. This is George's Hour. We're coming to an end. It runs very, very fast when you're having fun. If you want to join the conversation or make a comment, you can call 706-889-5825 or text me at george@fetchyournews.com. We'll get the message, respond to it somehow. I was talking about Cheryl Mills. We now move forward 16 years to today. Mills was given an immunity deal by FBI Director Comey on Clinton's private email server. The corruption is so rampant it stinks, absolutely so rampant it stinks. Fast forward to Hillary's tenure as secretary in October 12. I was just at the end of it, of her 4 years. Mills sorted through key Benghazi documents and decided which to withhold from a review board. She also leaned on witnesses. Deputy Ambassador to Libya Gregory Hicks testified to Congress in 2013 that Mills told him in an angry phone call to stop cooperating with investigators. Now, she had some power to order a person at the ambassadorial level to do that. What was her power? Hillary Clinton was her authority. The FBI chief Comey was fully aware of Mills's method of operation when he launched his investigation, yet even after discovering she was in the middle of everything improper, if not illegal, he treated her with kid gloves. So Hillary has got something on the FBI director, and so apparently does Obama. Comey knew it was Mills who had Hillary's emails moved off her private server and onto laptops, where she decided which ones were government related and okay for public release and which ones were personal. He knew it was Mills who shredded the emails that were printed out and who had the rest of the 31,000 emails deleted and then had the laptops bleached clean. I guess that's computer talk for wiped. And he knew it was Mills who told the Denver technician who maintained the server to stop retaining her emails and to delete Hillary's archived emails, all of which the tech dutifully performed even after Congress subpoenaed them and ordered them preserved. Even so, Comey agreed to grant Cheryl Mills immunity in exchange for her cooperation in the investigation. Fat chance of that. It's already compromised. The whole investigation is compromised. Comey just went through the motions of looking like the government was doing something with these horrible people. Let me tell you, Hillary Clinton is a horrible person. And if she gets the presidency of the United States, it is the duty of what's left of the Republican Party, the feckless Republican Party, to stop this woman and just create so much trouble that she can't even function as a president. It has to be done. Start impeachment right away and get that woman out of here and on the way to prison. Mills claims such information was protected under the attorney-client privilege, which is ridiculous. Mills was chief of staff for Hillary, not her lawyer. So there we go. There's another facet of it. Now, how the FBI went easy on Hillary, even though Mills deleted the records after she left state and was supposedly acting as Hillary's attorney then, privileges does not apply when a client seeks advice on how to commit a crime, and a crime is committed. Yet Comey's agents abided by her claim and never pushed the line of questioning again. Now we have to go back to the FBI in revolt, and those agents said Comey tied their hands. In other words, he ordered them, you will not do this, you will not do that, we will not go into this, and we will not ask questions about that. That's why this happened. In effect, they gave her a pass on the whole question of the criminal obstruction, behind which she looks to be the mastermind. And then 3 months later, they let her sit in on Hillary's interview. You don't have a witness sit in on the interview of a suspect. It's just not done. I have to laugh. One of my favorite cop shows is Midsummer Murders. And they always interview suspect with everybody else around. Same with that Australian Miss Fisher's Mysteries. They interview or interrogate a suspect and they have everybody stand around the table. That's not the way it's done. But maybe it was once, but it's not done that way today. In effect, and then 3 months later, they let her sit in on Hillary's interview, even though she was represented by another attorney, a fellow named David Kendall. Mills should be dragged before Congress to publicly answer questions of the FBI, or that the FBI refused to ask, but she would lie with impunity like she did in her past testimony. I don't remember, and I don't recall doing that. I simply don't recall. You try it at a trial and see how fast that's going to get you. Rather, it would be more productive to grill Comey under the Klieg lights. That's an old technique. Why did he give a key suspect who orchestrated the destruction of government records immunity as a witness? Good question. Why didn't he demand prosecutors convene a grand jury to question Mills under oath? Why was he pressured, and who did it? By the Attorney General. Sweating Mills would have cracked the case wide open. No one would have ever let H.R. Haldeman get away with editing the Nixon tapes. Why would the FBI director let Hillary's chief of staff, Cheryl Mills, get away with deleting her emails. That data was, I'll give credit because it's a very good piece of information, a fellow named Paul Sperry, and he authored The Great American Bank Robbery, which exposes the role of race-based Clinton housing policies in the mortgage bust. So we've covered some land here, some territory. One last thing I want to, I've got a couple of things here, is the Department of State. We're still on this Department of State as a shadow government. News that a top State Department official discussed a quid pro quo, and Brian talked about that this morning, in exchange for the FBI reclassifying a document that Hillary Clinton's, while that's shocking enough, but the word was that the state official who controlled the release of the emails has called itself the shadow government. And that's mind-blowing. That's just incomprehensible, the shadow government. The latest FBI dump of documents from the investigation into Clinton's email follies includes a summary of one agent's talk with the Undersecretary Patrick Kennedy. He wrote it out on 302, a Form 302, who, the agent said, pressured him to change the classified email to unclassified. Well, an agent has no authority, or an investigator, only the person can change the classification is the guy who sent it, the department who sent it. It cannot be changed by anybody else. And here's this Nimrod, Kennedy, Patrick Kennedy, trying to pressure an FBI agent to change classification of an email to unclassified. It's unheard of. Kennedy asked his assistance in altering the email's classification in exchange for a quid pro quo, that being, in exchange for marking the email unclassified, this Department of State would reciprocate by allowing the FBI to have more agents in countries where they were presently forbidden, one of them being Afghanistan and Iraq, two of them, again, Afghanistan, Iraq, and possibly Syria. Well, I don't see many agents volunteering to go there anyway. So that's another punishment job. if you displease the superior in the FBI, you can end up on that detail. Well, that was a promise to help U.S. alter policy in order to make it seem like Clinton didn't casually endanger national security. That the FBI didn't take the deal makes the potential trade even less odious. The state is still covering. Its official comments call the allegations inaccurate. Inaccurate. That goes along with this other word, that pair of words I had earlier, and claims that Kennedy was merely trying to understand the FBI decision, whose offer to change federal policy in order to understand something. Who does that? Criminals. Hillary Clinton and her coterie of hangers-on. In a later interview with the FBI, Patrick Kennedy was asked if any of the certain Clinton emails were classified, and he answered, quote, "We'll see." While making eye contact with the agent, he discussed the deal with Kennedy as hardly the only state official to try to cover up but Clinton. For Clinton, the whole department did its best to minimize the scandal by repeatedly claiming it just couldn't release most of Clinton's emails until after Election Day, until court rulings forced it to cough them up. I don't know why they obeyed the court. They don't obey anybody else. The FBI also released the summary of an interview that revealed a cabal at state that oversaw the email release. It was a powerful group, very high-ranking state officials that some refer to as the Seventh Floor Group. I love these acronyms. Or at the shadow government. This group met every Wednesday afternoon to discuss anything Clinton related to FOIA, that's the Foreign Official Information Act, and congressional inquiries. Imagine officials high in the George Bush administration calling themselves the shadow government as they oversaw a supposedly nonpartisan release of documents that could sink the White House hopes of its former boss. Heck, state on its own somehow never officially noticed Clinton's missing emails, regularly reporting no records that comply or to subpoenas and FOIA requests. Only the hacking of Clintonite Sidney Blumenthal's emails 2 years after she left office were exposed to the truth. The FBI has flagged the quid pro quo exchange for further investigation. Don't expect anything to happen as long as Jim Comey is director of the FBI. The shadow government will disappear until after the November the 8th election, and that's only 3 weeks away. We're getting close, folks. I mean, we are getting so close to D-Day. We'll call it T-Day, Trump Day. It's going to be a shock heard around the world. When you look at the polls, these polls, giving Hillary Clinton a heads up, and you hear and you understand all of this stuff going on, all this criminality going on, it's mind-blowing to think anybody would even consider putting that woman in any place but in prison. Any place but in prison. So we have come around. To all the subjects that were on my list to cover today. However, I'm prepared for more. Obamacare is now making its great plunge into history, but it was designed to do just that. And we hear on the radio and other sources where people are, a farmer in Montana, a rancher in Montana, his Obamacare bill, it is $91,000 a year. And he has to pay up front even before, he can never even afford to pay up front to meet the deductible. So this thing was designed, this thing wants people to say, well, we got to do something, we can't afford this, let the government handle it. Let me tell you, we do not want the government handling it. And the Republicans have a bill. They have a program that will make this all right and for everybody to have affordable insurance. But the Obama Unaffordable Care Act is a disaster. It was specifically designed to fail. It is failing, and Obama would have us blame the insurance companies. Blame the insurance companies for being greedy when in fact it's Obama. How come this guy never gets painted with his own BS? It's because he stands aloof, and he will walk out there and he'll claim, well, the dastardly Republicans or Donald Trump is making it hard for people to understand the benefits of Obamacare and the open enrollments and all of this. That's nonsense. This is his, it's an albatross, and it will be hung around his neck. It will be hung around his neck. Because people are just having higher premiums to pay. He told us, Obama told us, if you like your insurance plan, you can keep your insurance plan. If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. And this is going to reduce payments for people down to where it's affordable. And of course, none of that is true. The man's a liar, just like Hillary Clinton. Another article, GOP unnerved about Trump's possible drag on Senate races. No, I don't think so. The GOP elites are unnerved because they see the gravy train coming to an end. There's a lot of prison cells that are available. Two of the senators who have lost hope are Ayotte and Portman, and they renounced Trump. They will probably do so. They will probably both be re-elected to the Senate, but barely. Because Trump is taking the Northeast and New Hampshire, New Hampshire, and he'll probably win that. He's definitely going to win Ohio, but Trump is probably very right. We're getting very, very close to finding out just how corrupt the the whole voting system is. And with that, I will bid you a good farewell, a nice day. It's going to be another beautiful day in North Georgia, up here on the mountains. The leaves are rapidly changing color. I think this weekend will be the color weekend for visitors. The Apple Festival was last weekend. So we'll catch your act tomorrow, or you can catch mine. See you on the other side. Thanks for watching.